Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the Rubik's Cube. Glad you could join us again for this week's podcast. So, once again, I am joined by my awesome co-host, Fai. What's up, Fai?
Hello, everyone.
What's up? What's up? So, this week, the two of us are back at it again, and we're here to talk about some more anime for everybody. And as you may have already seen it when you clicked on the podcast, it is a Gantz review. Now, I know what you're thinking. For those of you who already know about Gantz, oh my god, this is the anime review, and it's gonna be about the Gantz anime. And to be honest, what we found was that the Gantz anime was so poorly done, it wasn't even warranted for a review. It was just gonna be us shitting on it for like 2 hours. Okay,
Probably.
so yeah.
Well,
so
I mean, I'll give us some credit. Like some scenes were good, but
it didn't do the manga justice.
Yeah, it didn't do the manga justice.
Sorry, the manga.
Sorry, yes. Manga.
For all you guys getting triggered out there, it's manga. I know, but it's easier for me to say manga because I'm tired. Anyways, so we are gonna do, instead of the actual anime review, we're gonna do something we haven't done yet, which is do the manga review. And that means that is a total of what, like 200 chapters, 300 chapters?
Bro, 400.
400 chapters. There you go. 400 chapters of great artwork and
absolutely
really
one of the best artwork
stories.
I've seen in a manga.
Absolutely. And we'll talk about that this week. So if you guys don't know what Gantz is, this manga is one of the most gory, most violent, most brutal, no plot armor for any of the character, thriller, survival, mixed with a lot of sexual content story.
Well, I mean,
it's like,
I will say that like the main character does live. Spoiler.
Yeah, well, the thing is, he does live, but he also dies.
Yes, that's kind of a weird thing to say, but like, yeah, he lives and he dies.
Yeah. He lives and he dies, right? So that just goes to show that it's already it's kind of like Game of Thrones in that aspect. If you understand what I mean. If you guys watch Game of Thrones, you know who Jon Snow is. He don't. Yeah, it's kind of in that aspect. Is that there's so many twists, and there's no plot armor for people. Anybody can die at any time, right? And that's what makes it more thrilling. It's more of a thriller. It's not much of a political intrigue show as Game of Thrones, but it is a thriller, and it turns that it's like a survival thriller, and it's sci-fi, which is really, really cool. And the
a very interesting way doing sci-fi. Like I just thought it was super interesting the way they did it. It's
so unique. The story and the way they did it is so unique. Because usually, yeah, you're right. Sci-fi is either like it's either like exploration, adventure. Not a lot of it is mystery and horror mixed together, unless it's like a aliens film, you know.
Well, mixed in a way that's like also really unique.
Mm-hmm. And that's where the philosophy, I think, of Gantz comes in, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Because as you know, when we do our in-depth analysis, we like to talk about the hidden philosophy behind Gantz. And Gantz is a very complex story told in a simple way. So there's a lot of underneath the hood stuff that we got to take a look at. All right. But before we jump into the full review and analysis of Gantz, and why, we think it should be the next manga you should read or not, depending on what Fai thinks. We are first going to recommend and talk about what are some animes coming out in the new season for summer 2019, because it's coming out soon. In a couple of weeks, we will be hitting summer, enjoying the summer animes. And what do you got for us, Fai?
Man, summer is hot, and so are these summer animes. I'm so excited, actually. And I can tell you right off the bat, there is a few really popular anime series that's actually getting some traction. So, for example, the one with the dungeon exploring, and then with the goddess Hestia, it's called like Dungeon ni Dewa wo Motomeru no wa Machigataru Dauka.
Oh, Hestia.
Second. the Hestia one. It's like I think the English translation is like something finding a girl in the dungeon or something. It was very popular and everyone loved to cosplay as Hestia, especially the female cosplayers. And we have something also called the Vinland Saga, which used to be a really, really, really popular. Actually, I think it was #1 on Manga Fox, or is it Manga Reader?
Wow.
It was #1 for at least half a year while it was still being written.
Do you remember when it came out?
Probably back in like uni or like high school, but yeah, it was very, very popular
5 years ago. Or
it really grasped the Berserk fans and the people who like gory, a good story, emotional trauma, depression, like all these fighting that has to do with like this is about like Vikings. So, but anyways, we'll talk about that later. So we have this Vinland Saga. We have the dungeon one with Bel Cornell and Goddess Hestia. And then there's Dr. Stone that you talked about.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Stone. I don't know if a lot of people know what it is. If you don't read manga, so the source of Dr. Stone is this manga that's been really popular, and I actually got recommended to me by my girlfriend. It's basically about like a post-apocalyptic world. So if the main character is basically like some nerd. Okay, he's like some super smart. Yeah, and he kind of uses like strategy and science or his inventions or whatever it is to kind of solve his problems. So it kind of makes it a lot more interesting than just I gained superpowers or I was born like this.
I am Kirito. I go past the
yeah. So I think in terms of character development, it's going to be fun. In terms of the battles, it's going to be very unique and interesting. It feels like it is still kind of a shonen. So if you don't like shonens, then probably not for you. But basically, they kind of try to team up and bring back what is the now lost human civilization, right? By investigating the true nature of light that turned them all to stone thousands of years ago and how to fix that problem. So post-apocalypse plus shonen plus science and stuff like that. You get Dr. Stone, and I heard there's a lot of fan service too. So, and the story moves really fast. So I know we'll see how it goes, and hopefully they get it right because the manga's pacing is really, really awesome, and it captivates a lot of fans. So that's #2 on the most anticipated, right after season 2 of Hestia.
Yeah, it's super interesting to see that like there's another isekai coming up. It's #3 on the list, which is like what? Another isekai?
Oh!
I'm actually kind of excited.
This is an isekai?
Yeah, it's an isekai. Transported to another world.
What's it called? Arefutu Shogyu. I'm butchering the name.
Hell yeah! But
Arifurute.
I think just call Arifurute. Like usually when people call it, it's just Arifurute. And I think it used to be based on the light novel. I really like isekai, even though they're so trash and it's so basic. Probably gonna watch it. Just because it is isekai. So but these major 4 that's coming up is already going to make the summer already so interesting.
That's awesome. I'm excited.
Should we talk about the movies now?
Yeah, let's do it. So for movies this summer, Fai's gonna give you the scoop. What's up?
It was so fun. Okay, I really love this one when it was a TV series, Konosuba. My God, I love Konosuba so much because it was it was the funniest thing. But it was like, you know how like people have isekai series and then they like transport to another world, they're super OP and they like defeat everything one way or another, or they become like a hero. But like this is basically just like this guy transport to another world and they fuck around. That's basically all they do. It's just a comedy. And I loved it. Like it's so funny, and then like everything he does is just like basically he's useless.
Yeah.
And like if they ever get anything accomplished, it's just because somehow, some way, they were stupid enough to get it completed.
That's funny.
And it was
So
I'm
now
just
it's
looking forward to it so much.
It's a movie and it's a sequel.
I think just a movie, just
side story.
Just one of the volumes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's based on a light novel.
Right.
And it's going to be the 5th volume. So, and the one I'm more interested about is Violet Evergarden, the movie. Oh, I'm so excited. If anyone just watched the promo video,
the
promo video already gave me the shivers. Like I just cannot wait. Can you imagine? Like they had I think it was 12 episode anime series with amazing graphics, music, and choreography.
It was really, really good.
And if they compress that budget to 1 hour or 2 hour movie,
It's gonna be so
my
amazing.
God,
The animation is gonna be
it's gonna be so.
mind-blowing, yeah.
I'm just gonna like jizz in my pants all
It is one of the most
movie.
beautiful animes I've seen. Like just in terms of the ambiance, the artwork, the animation.
It was given the award
music.
of the year for like most beautiful
Yeah.
animation and stuff like and music. Like it was given
and
that
that's
award.
when it's coming out, and then it has a movie coming out, so it's gonna be hopefully even better, right?
Oh man, and it's gonna be done by Kyoto Animation. Oh man, they
Jeez.
don't fuck shit up, man.
Right on.
Oh, man.
For all you art freaks out there, this is the movie to catch, right?
All right, and free for those who like swimming.
Oh,
Free's
free.
coming up. I love
It's coming out in
swimming,
24 days. It's coming out in 24. Free became a meme when it first came out as the anime because it was pretty much fan service for girls, right? It was,
But
it was
apparently
all
it's quite
guys.
good. It's actually apparently quite good. Like
Yeah,
despite all that,
that's why people get
so-
confused. That's why it became a meme because all my friends, like everybody, was confused because it was actually a pretty good anime. But they were just looking at butts and dicks all day, and people were just like, "What's going on?" It's I'm
a tight
confused.
crotch with this
Yeah.
swimsuit.
Yeah, but yeah, go check out the movie because the film will be a reconstruction of Free, and see how it is if you're a fan. Want a good laugh, want a good anime? That's just check it out. If you like Violet Evergarden, another one is gonna be Tenki no Ko, right? And this is the same director that did Your Name.
Oh,
And
it looks like
yeah.
it too.
and it might
My
have
gosh.
exactly it might have that same vibe as Your Name. So if you like Your Name, which is like an international hit and became really, really popular for its animation and storytelling.
Oh, I'm excited for this one.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Tenki no Ko will be airing July 19th, and it's definitely one to catch. It'll be very like another one of the more beautiful, well animated slice of life drama animes, right? So that one I think is one of the most hyped ones. People are really excited about because like Your Name was obviously like such a great hit.
Yeah,
And
that's gonna be a
and people
hard.
just like,
It's gonna be a hard expectation to fulfill.
yeah. So
Oh.
hopefully it's just as good. As or even just the art is just will take your breath away.
Yeah.
So it'd be a good watch. Another one I want to recommend, actually, this I don't know, it's not really an anime, but it's based off of a video game. And if for all you anime nerds out there, you probably know it. It's called Ni no Kuni. And as we know, Ni no Kuni's artwork is inspired by Studio Ghibli's. So like when you play Ni no Kuni, it feels like you're playing a Studio Ghibli game. And so like yeah, it's really, really cool how like
it really look like it too, eh?
Yeah, exactly. So this one's based off of Ni no Kuni, the video game franchise, and it follows Yu, which is a high school student, and his best friend Haru, and they kind of go back and forth between reality and the Ni no Kuni. So that one's coming out in August, same as Konosuba. And but for Violet Evergarden, that's coming out in September, September 6th, I think. So yeah, you get to watch all those. None of them overlap, and plan ahead, plan it like it's your summer vacation or something.
I'm going to just for watching Violet Evergarden. I might actually just get a high HD, super HD projector just to watch it in my living room
Nice,
on a
nice.
big screen.
Wait, where? Yeah, because like I don't know where they're gonna air it in the different countries. You might have to look that up. But there's definitely sources online you can probably find, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
What's next? I think that's everything. I think those are the ones that we're mainly excited about, and we thought were some good highlights to bring to you guys. So yeah, I'm excited for the coming season. Definitely excited. Next month is gonna be good. So, Faye, my man, are we ready to do the Gantz
Man,
review?
I think will never be ready, but now is as best as ever.
So Gantz actually was recommended to me by you, dude. I remember you telling me there's a really popular manga in Japan. Like Japanese people were crazy about it while it was still coming out, and that it was so unique and different from all the other mangas that I've read, right? And that was Gantz. That was the one they recommended to me. That actually I read, and it changed my taste on what kind of mangas I like to read. That's how impactful it was for me at that time, because this came out quite a while ago.
Very long time ago.
So just remember, there was no Game of Thrones. There was no
no isekai.
All those cycle thrillers.
There was no isekai.
Yeah, no isekai at that time. There wasn't even Attack on Titan. Okay, so before Attack on Titan came out. So imagine all of that really thriller type shows haven't come out yet. You have Gantz, and Gantz is about
Kurono K.
Yeah, exactly. Kurono K, your main character, and he basically, in the first episode or first chapter, he dies in a subway accident while trying to save someone else.
Oh my god, bro!
Yeah,
this was isekai before isekai, bro.
Maybe if you think, it's still the same reality.
He died. He transported to
he's still in the same world.
A world.
He's still in the same world if you think about it. So yeah, he dies and he wakes up in a room, like a whole like a condo room with a big black ball. And it turns out that people who die, some of them get transferred there, and they get to fight to regain their lives because
in these battles.
Yeah, so the ball gives you missions to go out and kill aliens that are hidden amongst our world. So it's kind of like Men in Black, but way more violent, more gory. So you have to go fight these aliens, and these aliens are so super overpowered. They're completely overpowered.
They're way overpowered.
Yeah, it's like watching Attack on Titan, and you see one guy trying to fight a Titan. That's how overpowered they are, right? And all kinds of people get sent to the Gantz room. I remember seeing a grandma or an old dude.
A panda, bro. A panda was sent to
a panda man or something accidentally got sent there too. So you have a cross of all these like species fighting aliens and stuff like that, but it's done in the real world still. So during the night they have to fight aliens, and during the day they get to live their life, right? But if they don't follow the game, their heads get blown up. They die basically. So you have to follow the game or you die for good. So you have a second chance at life, but the path back is all on blood and violence and it's a war. It feels like I'm watching Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, man. You know what it is? It felt really human to me. It was just battle for survival. It was a pure battle for survival manga that it was entirely based on just fighting and killing to get these points. And to get these points, you can choose to either revive someone or to erase your memory and go back to normal life.
So you have exactly. So you get enough points by killing these monsters. You have those two options, right? To bring back a friend or to go back to your own life. And it feels this is one of the first mangas that made me feel you're right. It made it feel like the characters were human.
Superhuman.
They had no special powers.
They were going through all these levels of fear, emotions of being how to want to just live. It's a very primal emotion, right?
I love it because you see so many different people too with different emotions. That's what's amazing about Gantz, is that in that room, the artist really knows how to change things up. He knows when to put a little kid with a dad in.
And I think the craziest part is
man, that gets you
and also
kind of
the crazy
uncomfortable.
part is when you obviously give some bad people with a second chance at life, what are they gonna do? And you just see it. You see it manifest. They will do the same thing again. They go kill people.
Yeah. Because I think what makes a really good horror anime is not the monsters you fight, but also the people you have to deal with. For example, the show The Walking Dead. Zombies no longer become the problem. The problem becomes the people after the apocalypse and how they act with no law. Right? And I think the characters interacting with each other is almost as interesting as them fighting the aliens. But another thing is that the guy made the aliens not very generic. He made it so that each alien is almost different from one another, and it has a different kind of vibe. So every fight almost feels completely different. From one that I remember was them fighting at a Buddhist temple with this giant scary alien, and a shit ton of people get hurt or die. It felt like it was like a boss battle in some friggin', some friggin' MMO where like it's just so hard to defeat. It's like a world boss.
It's like
Whereas
raid,
the other,
yeah,
like,
raid world boss.
it felt like a raid world boss. It was so scary. Like the character was so strong, and it looked so freaky. You're just like, oh my god, there's no way they can win. And then there was another one where the alien was just a little kid running around with a green onion, and he just kept
first one.
crying and screaming green onion. Right? Do you remember that? And then it was basically them chasing a
I
kid.
think
And
after the green onion, all the other alien bosses were just absolutely devastating.
yeah, absolutely. And don't forget, these aliens are so strong they kill you in one hit and they rip you in half. And that's what. And I want to go over to the art as well, because I like Fai said earlier, it's one of the most unique, amazing art styles that he's seen, and for good reason, because it captures the gore to every single detail. It almost feels like it's real.
Oh my gosh, so detailed.
They draw the intestines.
So I'll read it again.
It's almost like Berserk, but like even more clear. It's like Berserk is good, but it's kind of like that whole like quick sketch kind of vibe, right? Whereas this is very, very clear. It puts everything right in your face, and it captures the horror on people's faces. It draws
intestines flying and shit,
blood,
head flying off,
facial emotions. It's just so accurate.
Yeah,
it almost makes you kind of think that this author had like seen death before, like he's been to war or something,
Yeah, like to be able to draw that clearly.
Yeah, it's almost freaky.
With that much emotion, it's very freaky to see all the details.
Yeah, exactly. So like I said, for me, it's like watching the first battle of Saving Private Ryan, when they go on the beach on D-Day, except like it's for like 400 chapters. So it kicks it off with a bang. It picks up really, really quickly. And not to mention, there's also a lot of sex in it. So it's definitely a mature anime. So you got blood, gore, and what else to complete it with other than sex, right?
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, like the art, very, very detailed, very great drawings. Even like just the regular life stuff, it captures it very, very well, and I really enjoy the art. I think overall, as a manga, the story's good, the art's good, and the character is good. It's definitely one that I recommend for you guys to go read.
Yeah, I mean, like I could talk about the good things about this manga like all day long.
Yeah.
If I had to pick, for example, a thing that I didn't think, I think it was the ending was a little bit like anticlimactic.
It was a little bit rushed.
A little bit rushed. I think that's the only thing about it that I really have a problem, I guess. I really, 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 really liked about this anime, and like
manga
in a weird way. Manga.
Yeah.
In a really, really weird way. What's the love story in this one?
Yes.
You know what it is? You know why? Because in an era where you feel like because this is where social media and Instagram and Facebook, everything is becoming more popular. Everyone's more becoming like it's all about what it looks. It's not about what's actually real.
Mm-hmm.
And this anime had a very interesting like couple.
Yeah,
because you would think that the main character always gets a really beautiful girl that like is the main character.
She's very average, plain looking.
Let me just finish. So like,
sorry.
You like he meets this girl that was like super beautiful.
Yeah,
and she loves him. Like she falls in love with him, but because of a girl that basically was able to sacrifice, like she was absolutely obsessed with him, and she would do anything for Chrono K.
Yeah.
And the main character, I think it was more like this was actually, I feel like more human for any person. Just have someone that will actually absolutely sacrifice everything to be with, this main character. I think it's actually more realistic, that the person will be persuaded to be with her versus just someone who is beautiful. But obviously, absolutely, of course, for the fan of the idol girl that actually likes the main character, we actually get to see that she also like wholeheartedly loves him. It's just that she was too late. His heart was already won. Yeah, I just thought that like that was super sweet.
the love story in a world of like such fear and almost emotionless, meaningless death. And the thing about this manga is that the first thing it shows you is that after death there is no heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so already it almost says, it makes every single person who goes into that situation question where they are, and they somehow reach the conclusion that this is either hell or there is no heaven. Because think about it, you die and then you have to die again, and in a more gruesome manner, and you have to watch others around you die, and you have to fight for your survival, and almost in a sick game. So that's the crazy part, is that the afterlife, this is the afterlife. And when people realize that, they're like, wait a minute, then what is God? What is good? What is bad? What are all the moral values that we've learned? And stuff like that. And that's kind of the beauty of their love story, is that in a world like that, he met a girl who, who loves him so much, and showed that things do care, and that love is actually stronger than almost like a world understanding.
And you know what it is? At the end, the reason why he was so strong was that he's so keen to getting back to her.
Yeah,
I think I love that so much. That idea that someone's not fighting to save mankind, to save the world. He's fighting to get back to his girl. That's all it is.
So he was so moved by a girl who could still like love him in a world that's so
she was not like really beautiful looking, or has big boobs or big ass or anything like that. She was very average.
But what was different about her was her personality. Like in that world where he's seen so much shit, right? He's probably like already lost that superficial thing that you look, because the older you get, the more mature you get, the less superficial you look for in a relationship. Because if you're looking for something that, like when you're really, really been through so much, you want something that just heals you. You're not looking for something that is like an accessory or something to show off on social media. No, you're looking for something that heals you, and that's what made their relationship so special, is that she healed him, a person who's been through so much, and that's why he fought.
And you know why
for her so hard?
Yeah, and the reason why she was so obsessed with him is because he saved her.
Yeah.
Ironically, in a school incident, he saved her, and then actually, there was a few reasons, but like, and then she became obsessed with him, and she like started drawing him. I thought it was the cutest thing, sketching his face.
The thing is, he didn't like her at first, right? He was kind of using her at first.
Yeah. And he was like using her, and he was like telling her to go away, and then he eventually tried to get away from her. But then I think that is maybe quite common for guys. Like, they don't really understand what is important. They know that they should get with a pretty girl with money or very smart or anything. Yeah. But at the end of the day, what is actually really meaningful is someone who actually cares a lot about you.
Exactly.
They are actually able to do all that for you.
So I think that is like their love story was so unique and so different from all the other manga love stories, or even like the Korean drama love stories, that it teaches like a real lesson in life. Is that when you're looking for someone...
Oh yeah, she was willing to kill herself for him. Like, I think she killed herself once for him already. Yeah. Because she didn't want him to get hurt, so she killed herself.
Yeah, well, like, maybe not that extreme, but I mean, like it definitely teaches to look beneath the surface. If you want a relationship to work, you both need to be able to care and heal for each other. That's very important. And then that's what made the second half of the manga so damn good, is that his drive with love in a world that is so loveless, and how he uses that.
Yeah, everyone was trying to conquer each other or kill each other. All he did was very different. He just wanted to get back to her. That's all.
Yeah. So that kind of leads to our philosophy of this manga, because it's all about nihilism. Okay. So what nihilism is? What nihilism is the belief that morals, God, all those things are actually subjective. They're gray areas. There is no right or wrong. It's all about a person's perspective on them and how he wants to choose and act them out. That's a very nihilistic kind of view. It's almost a kind of a skeptical, cynical view on life, if one would argue it. But it follows the philosophy of Nietzsche, Friedrich Nietzsche, who is a profound, well-known nihilist. And it's true, because you see in this manga that people don't really have a after they found out that there is no afterlife, people ask themselves, like I said, what is God? Right? Is God real? And then you question, what about morals? You always find that morals are being questioned in this manga, and more often than not, people reach the conclusion that morals are what it doesn't matter because it's subjective. And why I think that's so crazy is that in today's world, we're reaching a point of nihilism, because a lot of people,
Yeah.
they're so well educated that they see beyond. Like, people are so well educated these days, they have so much information coming to them these days, they almost see beyond God. It's almost as if they kind of realize there is no God, right? And that's why you have a lot of atheists. You have a lot of science people who are like, oh, it just there's nothing beyond that. And as a result, we also don't really have a moral compass anymore, because before we thought that, oh, if you do good, you go to heaven, you do bad, you go to hell, right? Unless you
There's an
read
incentive to do good.
yeah, unless you read like moral philosophy, there's not much you really think that I care about morals, because if there's no God, then what I do things for my own personal gain. If there's no morals at that point, or have a moral compass, then everything I do is for myself. And you see that in these people, right? You see that in these people. You see that in certain people that go to play the Gantz game. They're kind of doing it for themselves, not for any greater good or anything. And that's what today's society has slowly evolved to become, is that without a moral compass, everything we do is really just for our own personal gain. And I see that in like, as a millennial, at least, I see that in people around me too, is that we don't do things for morals anymore. We think morals are actually a hindrance. To do good and sacrifice yourself is a hindrance. We think we need to further our career, we need to further our lives. We see other people do that, and we think that it's almost better to do the smart thing, which is to further myself before helping others. And it's so rare that I see like a lot of like more people with moral compasses and doing good over themselves. And I think that's becoming more and more rare, especially in today's society, when people are so much more educated in science and forgetting that morals are a thing, and that's what's so crazy, because this manga came out before, like, I think while the world was kind of heading in that way, and he made like a sci-fi thriller based off of that whole philosophy, and that's amazing because it's so relatable nowadays, in my opinion, at least what I see around me. And and that's why I think that the love story is a good philosophy too, because it shows that with nihilism, where does love stand?
Mm-hmm.
Because some people can say that love is just, you can look at it in a nihilistic way. Love is just a way for us to not feel lonely in a shitty world, or for us to forget. That's a nihilistic way to look at it, because it's subjective. But I think yeah. But I think this manga in particular shows that love is actually the answer to everything. Even if you have right, even if you have a nihilistic view with your morals and no God, and good and bad are subjective and everything's a gray area, that love can carry you throughout that.
Oh yeah. For example, why do I come back to Canada? Right? Like, because I love my parents. I want to see them. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna do things for certain reasons, right? If you have $1 billion, but you have nothing you want to do, so what's the point of $1 million or $1? Like, just.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this manga really got a good point, because that they're always faced with death, and I think in the face of death, then you really start to think what really matters to you.
Yeah.
Not 1 year we're gonna make this much money, or tomorrow I'm gonna post this thing, or I'm gonna have this whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna eat this. No, you're gonna die. What matters to you is what you're thinking right now, and that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're gonna die. So what really matters to you? That's what really comes up, and
exactly.
Then that's when people really realize, oh, this is what truly matters to me.
Yeah. But I do want to point out one key thing that kind of contradicts the love aspect. Kurano K, who's like kind of the hero, and he became the hero because he's always the guy who wants to try to save everybody. And then afterwards, at the very end, he decided that he's not going to save everybody. He's going to go save his girlfriend. Do you remember that? So at that point, people were questioning, okay, so you have Kurono K, who's like the kind of golden light and all of this nihilistic actions, right? He's the kind of the role model, and that's why people respect him and chose him as a leader. It's because he is the supporter. He supports everybody. But then all of a sudden, at the very, very crucial point, is in fact, he decided to go save his girlfriend. And then people are saying, okay, so now what is that saying for love, right? So that's what I want to talk about a little bit with you. Like, what do you think?
I think the author was really smart to do one thing, and that was to have Kurono K die and at some point revived, and then have the girl that really loves him make a copy of him.
Oh, because he had a clone. That's true.
He had a clone, and the clone go fight off the aliens, and the main him that loves the girlfriend. He just wanted to save his girlfriend. That's all. And I think that was in a way of him trying to make him, trying to make the story as perfect as possible by having a clone, so that the second main girl character can be happy, at least for a little while, and then satisfy the condition of fighting the aliens at the same time trying to find his girlfriend.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like, so like, you remember how at the beginning, Kurono K was actually a very pessimistic person.
This change of character.
He was actually, you actually hate the main character at the beginning because he doesn't go save anybody. He's always scared. He's very pessimistic. He thinks that, it's me over everybody else. So he had a very a very pessimistic, nihilistic view. And he chose to always put himself before others. But then over time, he became this guy who puts others before himself.
I think he really changed after he met the girl that was super obsessed with him and did anything for him.
Yeah.
And she would never hurt him.
Yeah.
And he realized that she was the only one in the world that super cared about him, really cared about him.
Yeah, yeah.
For who he is. And I think that's when he really found the purpose for his life. And that changed him a lot. And he started to care about others. He try to do as much as he can for others. Like he, as a result of being cared for, he started to care for others.
Right. But then after he lost her, though, that was when he came back to his old self again. And then he started just killing everybody and then aiming for, bringing her back to life.
Oh yeah, it's very selfish.
But I think even though it sounds
but
terrible,
then who actually brought her back to life? You know who did?
Oh, who was
you know who actually brought her?
I don't remember.
He was actually his best friend. It's not Kurono K.
Yeah.
Because Kurono K was, you know what happened? Kurono K actually was brought back to life, but he doesn't know about a Gantz thing. So he was living as a regular person. And then, his best friend also brought back the other girl, and then and then she's like, why do I have all these pictures of this person? Why have
she lost her memory?
Yeah. And so she tried to talk to him, and they get together. And then as they get together, they trigger some like a condition for them to get attacked. And that's what happens. And they start get to Gantz again, and then this whole dramatic thing.
Yeah.
But and then I guess they fall in love again.
That's insane. So it kind of shows that like these people are meant to be together.
Yeah,
like they're almost made for each other. Yeah, so even if without,
very gory, very bloody, very down to earth, just battle
like the sweet
anime. There was just a sweet spot, like you could just lay back and say, wow, this is like really very,
you're right,
very
and I think it shows that like beyond the complex like philosophy, the character the writer tries to really reflect and show reality, right? So like for example, even though Kurono became like this pessimistic guy after, and he just wanted to do everything for love and not for other people, it's very realistic. He lost, he constantly lost his companions. He lost, love interests, and he convinced himself that it's his fault sometimes, right? Like when Kato dies at the Buddhist temple, and like all these people they die at a Buddhist temple, he gets like really fucked up because of that, right? And he feels like it's his fault, and anybody in the real world will break under that pressure, right? So in the end, when he's aiming to save like the woman that he loves, like he says he cares about nothing in the world, only wishes that she would come back to life, right? And it's true because at that point people do that.
She was his world. She was his world.
Like people like
he lost
in a
her.
in a post apocalypse, you would fight for your kids, your wives, which are your wife, and you know, your loved one or whatever it is, because they come first, and that's realistic. So even though he showed like this world where he's trying to show the nihilism, but nihilism is a reflection on human reality as well. So he shows the gray areas of the gray areas. So he shows that the world is nihilist, right? And he also shows that the people have moments where they aren't, and moments where they are, and it's not clear cut. Sometimes there can be a nihilist, sometimes they can be a lover, sometimes they can be a hero. That's what humans are. We change based on our circumstances, and we change based on our environments. We're not black and white, and that reinforces that nihilistic view almost. You know, like the story itself is so complex, and it's told in a very simple way of like just killing aliens and seeing boobies. But the whole story is a focus on reality and what is reality. And because there's so much different contradictions and different takes and different people and all these different kind of things, that's what reality is. It's a mixture. It's a melting pot of gray areas, and that's what it's trying to show. And I think because of that, it felt so close to home. It felt like, that's what I was saying. It felt like I was watching Saving Private Ryan, because that's what they did. They made it feel real. It made it feel like it was right in front of you, and it's happening to you almost. And that's something that's unique with this manga, is because a lot of mangas, I didn't get that thrill or fear or like gore or whatever it is, but you feel it in this one.
Yeah, it was very gory.
Yeah, it definitely was gory. So I think it's a masterpiece, the way they put it together, the way it fits on so many levels, and the way that it's not clear cut black and white, because that's the lesson. That's the philosophy behind it. It's that it's all subjective.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but I want to talk about the ending, right, dude? Because you said the ending it moved kind of fast, and you're not the only one that thinks that. The ending is one that's greatly controversially debated, especially because like the invasion, for example, right? The invasion was cool, but the execution became really weird. Like it felt like the aliens they fought up to that point were kind of like, why? Right? And then we're assuming that they're immigrants and they're coming to Earth because, you know, whatever. And then and then now they can also like defeat all of them really quickly. It's like they went from struggling against little aliens to blowing up like motherships and beating the aliens and going and enslaving them. Like, how did that development become this weird one so quickly? Because the pacing ended up being rushed. And another major one is, do you remember the Room of Truth?
I actually didn't understand much about it. It was just that I think it was just like, truth is not the truth, but the truth itself. Like, it was just like, what?
Yeah, like I didn't understand it either. You know why I didn't understand it? Because it was so, like, I think back now, it was so shallow. Like with all the deep stuff that Gantz does and all the realistic, relatable things of today's society, this one was a little bit weird. Because the Room of Truth was a source of endless knowledge, where they can get an answer to any of the questions they want to ask. It's basically like what you think is God, but they told them that no, there is no God.
God in what form? What
all
is
there
God?
is data.
Yeah, I think
all they say that.
Yeah, I think
data.
the what is it called? I think at the end when they asked like, what happens when people die? They're like, oh, you just die. And then how about people's souls? There's no souls. But he says, but there's 25 bits of data.
Yeah. And then the human soul is a piece of floating data in the air. Now that's okay. That's okay if that's your theory, right? Like that.
Yeah,
kind of
that was
fits
just
with
like
the nihilistic view.
Okay.
It's just that, why talk about it, and how does that connect to all the other parts of the story? Like, yeah, okay, I guess you're trying to reinforce like that nihilism is accurate. But I think that's for something for people to debate about. You shouldn't answer that.
Yeah.
In the manga. right? That's why it's a gray area. You by doing that, you've taken the gray area and you said no, here it's black and white now. And it's the fact that like all of a sudden, you know, as a reward of defeating these aliens, these humans can have a place that they can answer every single question. And I feel like the author kind of wrote himself into a corner and didn't really know how to respond.
You gotta understand that that room of truth. It's created by another alien organization that has reached the peak of its pinnacles, and that's why these alien migration immigrants that are trying to invade Earth is trying to run away from, because they're trying to run away from these the ones that constructed the room of truth. So the room of truth is still based on the understanding of this very, 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 very knowledgeable civilization that has reached basically the pinnacle of life. They know everything.
Right.
But do they still know? Right. Like, do they still really know everything? Or do they not? Like,
right. And that's why I felt like the writing was kind of lazy. Because like there's loopholes in there's a lot of holes, plot holes in the some of the ending parts, right? Like the invasion, it just felt too quick. The room of truth, and like the ending felt really like obviously rushed. The last few chapters, right? Like it ends with no afterword. It doesn't tie up like where are they now. It doesn't show like it has a lot of unanswered questions. The final battle felt kind of pointless. It just wanted to wrap up aliens. Like, oh, okay, aliens are dead now. Yeah, you know.
I think it's really hard to wrap up any good story. I guess it's just like a lot of expectation, just like Game of Thrones. I feel like how do you?
Oh yeah. You're right.
Like if you have so much expectations, just like you expect your ending to even end off with a bang.
Yeah.
Then just like this is what we have. That's it.
You're right. It's very hard to end off an amazing story. It's very, very hard. Because the conclusion it needs closure. People need closure in a story, and with Game of Thrones and stuff like that, people need like the closure, like you ended off with a bang, right? And not a lot of good shows that were like super popular in this time ended off like that. Some people say that Breaking Bad did. Remember Breaking Bad when it was like such a popular show? I personally felt like it tried to tie everything off too quick. Too perfectly, you know, like there's no wrench being thrown in his plans or anything. I just kind of felt like, okay, we got to finish it, everything's gonna go perfectly. I think with endings, and that's where mangas come in, and I think mangas could really make endings end up really good, is that mangas can take its time to end a show. You can tie off little bit by little bit by little bit until the last thing remaining, and then you end that off. I think that will be something that's done a lot better. Instead of like in the next 10 chapters, we answer all the confusing questions that we've been talking about for the last 200 chapters. You know what I mean? But a lot of other mangas, like do you know, like think about it. If One Piece that's been going on for like 10 years suddenly decides that, oh, we have one more year left, one more season left before we got to end it. And then they just leave all the other questions unanswered. Like, does Luffy find the treasure? Does like who are the other mysterious things like Luffy's dad or whatever it is? You know what I mean? Like if it just suddenly like didn't answer these questions, then it's like why? And
then he just like fights a battle and then becomes a pirate king.
Yeah. And it's like, what about the last 10 years of all the mysterious intrigue things, all the little hidden gems, right? Like what role does Luffy's father play? What's his connection to Roger? Right, like all that things that all those theories that people have formulated over the years, you kind of just throw it into the dumps, and it's like, well, does your ending kill the story or kill the series, or does it make it a legacy? But that's some of the things that writers got to think about, and how to tie it off, or leave it open ended like Inception, or they just don't answer the question. Right, they leave it for you to think.
I think that was good. The way Inception left it was nice. I think that was a good idea.
Exactly. But it's hard to when you have a story with such a deep philosophy, it's hard to tie it off. You know what I mean?
Man, you know what? For the whole series, I just loved it. I think the ending, like the last 200 chapters was not my favorite. The beginning was not my favorite. The middle to almost the end was my favorite, just because the main guy fought for what he felt was most important to him.
Yeah.
That was very, very human about him.
Yeah.
I don't care about the world. I think from a viewer's perspective, you want a person. Well, I guess in a societal way of looking at it, it's like, yeah, you want a hero to save the world. He does not care about, the little things that, one person or two people or five people. He cares about the whole world.
Yeah.
But no, the truth is, if you are that person, what you're most likely to decide first is your family and the people who cares about you.
Yeah, because humans are we have that innate selfishness as well, right?
Well, that just makes us that makes us human.
Exactly.
Not hero, right?
Exactly.
And that's why the main character is not a hero. He is a human.
Yeah. Exactly.
He cries. He gets depressed. He gets sad. He gets really angry. These things. He was really human. I think that was what Chrono K was all about for me.
Yeah.
He was human.
All the characters in there were human, and they were vulnerable.
Yeah.
And they make mistakes. And they make hard choices. And that's what made it feel so alive and made the manga feel so real. Is that it doesn't have that plot armor for anything. Not even decisions, not even hero actions. Like when you watch a shonen, you're like, oh, I know what the main hero is going to do. He's going to save the world. He's going to save everybody. This one, you don't know. You don't know because he's making human decisions. The author really tries to put himself into the shoes of these people and write it based on their personalities. And I think that is the most difficult kind of writing because you're not just getting an easy way out. You're not just, doing it with plot armor, like, oh, time to save the world. Let's do it.
And the thing is, and he has to experience that person to be able to write it, to be able to draw it.
Yeah.
Like to experience so many people's different emotions and then have to draw it.
Exactly. And that's why I think it's
actually feel it.
Yeah, that's why I think it's a masterpiece.
That's why it's so good.
It is. Yeah. So regardless of the ending, I think it is a masterpiece and you need to read it. It's the most unique manga that I've read and I crave more for it. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to satisfy that craving. It's like chasing the magic dragon. I read Berserk after this, but it was gory. It was whatever. It just wasn't the same as this one because like Berserk is good. It's an amazing story, but Gantz is Gantz. Berserk is like your typical warrior hero type. It's not the same.
That's why when the movie for this series came out, I was so hyped. I just wanted to watch something that is related, even if it has not much to do with it.
Yeah. I think it was so good, and I don't know. I wish it comes back. I definitely do.
Can you imagine they redo it?
I hope so, because the anime they did wasn't that great.
Like Sailor Moon and stuff, like Sailor Moon, like they redo it. Yeah. They do Pokemon
or even better,
redo. Just hope they do a
or even better, they redo Gantz and then they make a better ending with the original writer. They get the writer to kind of tie it off with a good ending.
I don't know if the writer is even alive.
Oh no, I think he is. He wrote another series too.
I think it's about Grandpa. Right?
Yeah, about the grandpa. I mean, his artwork is really unique too. I love it. It's so detailed.
Yeah, he's like he's definitely one of the masters in like this whole industry.
Yeah, because
his artwork is super unique.
Yeah,
super detailed.
Absolutely. I think what's his name? Hiroa Oku. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I hope he at least release some like bonus chapters or anything, right? But
man, I wish. But I think it's fine as it is.
It's been like 15 years. That's how long it's been. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's insane. So yeah. Anyways, guys. That's pretty much our review of it. If you want to look more into Gantz, you take a read. It's all over the internet. And if you want to look more into nihilism, you can read stuff by Friedrich Nietzsche. And it kind of has a different view on life, and I think it's interesting. But one thing about nihilism I want to warn people is that when you're too nihilistic and you think it is the absolute truth, then you're no longer looking at the world subjectively, but objectively. So understand that with nihilism, because if you think that there is gray areas, there is subjectivity, that anything can kind of change, right, based on your circumstance and based on how things evolve and adapt. So don't have a too cynical view. I think follow the philosophy of Full Metal Alchemist. Embrace different philosophies together, because that's how the world works, right?
Exactly.
It's a melting pot of different philosophies, and learn them all and mix and match, because that is I think that is the truth, or that is the answer, because life is so vast. Our minds can't comprehend sometimes, like the universe.
Man.
So sometimes it's just you gotta learn as much as you can and mix and match, right? Speaking of Full Metal Alchemist and philosophy,
Yeah.
we did we did that review, so a couple episodes back. So go take a listen to that one. I think that was a really good one as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what were you gonna say?
And I think if you want to take anything away from the story Gantz, I think it should be that what's most important to you is when you imagine and when you know death is right around the corner, and the next thing that you think about is what's most important to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's such a I think Gantz really brought that to the light, and I think
that's a hard thing to think about.
It's really hard. Imagine
very humbling.
Every moment you're living in fear of death or fighting death.
Mm-hmm.
What are you fighting for? To stay alive. To stay alive for what? That's
right.
super. I think it's a very difficult question to answer, and I think you cannot answer it until you have faced it, probably.
Yeah. So yeah, dude, totally awesome manga. Don't watch the anime. It's kind of pointless. Go read the manga. And if you want to really watch something, because you're just like a watch freak, watch Gantz 0 or Gantz O.
It's like orgasm, 2 hours.
That movie is so sick. The animation, sometimes I thought I was looking at a real person.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yep. It embraces all the artwork of Gantz. It embraces the story packed up into like a movie where anybody can get hurt. There's no plot armor, and it packs the overpowered alien kind of thing, and it's good. It's really good. So watch that one. That's probably one of the better things you can watch. It is a movie. It's not like a full series, but it's still 100 times better than watching the actual anime. And the anime only adapts like a little bit of the manga. It doesn't follow the whole story.
I think like 100 chapters. That's it.
Yeah, and things
80.
haven't really started kicking off yet till it ended, and it ended really weird too. And it's just kind of flimsy animation and everything. So yeah, the manga's like way better. So yeah, anything else you want to add, bud, or are we tying off this review?
I think that's it. And I think if you don't like if you don't like to read, go ahead and watch the movie. I think nobody should ever regret watching that one. That one's just perfect. Mm-hmm. Just like watching Avatar. Avatar 2008.
Yeah, not the manga, not the anime movie Avatar. Yeah.
The
blue people swinging around, collecting tails. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed this review, and if you want to listen to more, we did a lot of good ones in the previous episodes. We did GTO, Great Teacher Onizuka, Death Note, and Full Metal Alchemist, which all have pretty deep and pretty valuable lessons that they try to teach the viewers. And we'll continue doing some of these for the next couple of weeks. So next week, tune in and we'll have another episode for you guys. Okay. So thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next week. Peace out. This is Bowen, and I'm here with Fai. Bye, guys.